we present Jimmy Clitheroe as the Clitheroe Kid with Peter Sinclair as grandfather, Leonard Williams as Theodore Craythorpe, Danny Ross as Alfie Hall, and Diana Day as Susan in
The Keyhole Kid.
This collar's shrunk or I'm putting on a wee bit of weight.
Grandad, didn't you say I had to clean me bike?
I certainly did, and it's a perfect disgrace.
Well, you tell our Susan, because she won't let me.
Why won't she?
Just because she's tidied the living room.
Jimmy, don't be ridiculous. You can't clean your bike in the house.
All right, but it's cold outside and I didn't want you to catch a chill.
I'm not cleaning your bike. It's Friday night, my darts night.
But, Grandad, me mum's away. You're not going to leave me on me own, are you?
Susan will be in. She'll take care of you.
Who, Bossy Anna? Ooh. If she starts on me...
Now, look here, Jimmy. I don't want any arguments while I'm out having a wee drink.
Well, if an argument starts, go to another pub.
You know very well what I mean. Now, don't you upset Susan.
I like that. Me upset Susan. After what she did to my stomach with that tea she just cooked.
I heard that, you little horror.
Well, you shouldn't be listening.
Now, listen here, my lad. While your mother is at your auntie's over the weekend, Susan is looking after us. And she's got enough to do without having you causing her any more trouble.
You're wasting your time, Grandad.
Well, I'm starving.
If you're hungry, why didn't you have another helping of the steak pie I made?
I'm not that hungry. Anyway, I want you to keep that pie and give me 2 helpings for supper on Sunday night.
Why, Sunday night?
So I'll be too ill for school on Monday.
Now, that's enough. Now, take no notice of him, Susan. That was my favourite meal. Steak pie and...
Stomach powder.
Stomach. You're asking for trouble, my boy.
I'm sorry, Grandad. Look, I'll be nice to Susan all weekend.
Good.
If you'll stop in and play with me.
Jimmy, I've told you I'm going out.
I'll get me train set out and you can work the signals and blow the whistle.
I'm not playing trains.
Me conjuring outfit. I'll show you how to lay an egg.
Oh, why don't you go and play with Ozzie Higginbotham? He's your best pal, isn't he?
Yes, but I don't think he wants to play tonight.
Did he say so?
No, but when I called at their house, he threw a bowl of dog food at me.
Dog food?
Yes, he was just putting it down for the dog, and as soon as he saw me, he let fly. His father went mad.
I should think he did.
Yes, because he was yawning, you see.
Yawning?
Yes, Ozzie threw, I ducked, and his father got the lot right in the clock.
Oh, no. You mean Higginbotham got a mouthful of dog food?
That's right. Ozzie cried, I laughed, and Mr. Higginbottom screamed.
He screamed why?
Well, when the dog saw him eating its food, it bit him.
I don't see anything to laugh at. I'm surprised at you, Grandad, encouraging Jimmy.
I didn't throw the dog food.
No, Susan, it was Ozzie.
Yes, but what had he done to Ozzie before? He wouldn't throw things at him for nothing.
Aye. What had you done to him?
Nothing. I just got my own back on him at school today.
Oh, yes?
Yes, he's always scrounging everybody else's dinner. When he thought I wasn't looking, he pinched one of me chips. So while he was having a second helping, I said, "Do you want my tapioca?" He said, "Yes, please." So I gave him my tapioca, all over his egg and chips.
How disgusting.
What did Ozzie do?
He ate it.
Well, no wonder he threw something at you.
Anyway, Grandad, he won't come round to play with me, so if you go out, I'm stuck here on my own.
For the last time, Jimmy, you're not being left alone. Susan is here. And I expect Alfie Hall will be coming over later, won't he, Susan?
Yes, about 7:30.
There you are, Jim.
Ooh, that's smashing, I don't think. What am I going to do while Romeo and Juliet are snogging in the front room?
Now, don't be cheeky. And you just behave yourself, Jimmy. I've got to get away now, Susan.
All right, Grandad, goodbye.
Goodbye, my dear. Bye-bye, Jim.
Well, for once you didn't get round him.
I don't care. Him and his blinking darts match. It'll serve him right if he bends down when somebody's throwing. And instead of double top, they hit double bottom.
That'll do. Now just move those comics and papers of yours. I want this place tidy. And these football boots. What do you want those in the living room for?
I might want to kick somebody. Anyway, what's all the fuss about? It's Alfie Hall who's coming, you know, not the vicar.
Alfie is not the only one who's coming.
Oh, you've got another boyfriend, have you? What are you doing, starting a Lonely Hearts Club?
Mind your own business. But how do you know about the Lonely Hearts Clubs?
I read it in one of your soppy magazines. Dear Auntie Agatha, I am a young girl called Susan. You cured my spots and pimples, but now I'm going bald. What shall I do? Dear Susan, grow a beard and walk on your hands.
Oh, you kill me. Look, tidy this room up while I put the kettle on.
Hey, Susan, here's one of your boys at the door.
We'll open the door. And it isn't a boy of mine.
Oh, don't tell me you've got a grown-up man. Is he daft like Alfie, or does he just need glasses?
Oh, hello there, James.
Mr. Craythorpe, I was expecting a man. A man for Susan, I mean.
Yes, well, I have called for Susan.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know you, liked our Susan.
What do you mean? I've always liked Susan.
Oh, there you are, Mr. Craythorpe. I was expecting you earlier.
Yes, I'm afraid I had little trouble with the police. It was difficult to get away.
Are you on the run? Have you robbed a bank? Is the money in that case?
Don't be silly. The money in this case I took from the office. I mean, it belongs to the office.
Ooh, you robbed your office?
Do be quiet, you silly boy. Look, Mr. Craythorpe and I want to talk, so go in the kitchen and get the tea tray ready.
But I want to hear about the police.
It wasn't anything, James. You see, the whole...
Never mind, Mr. Craythorpe. Jimmy, do as I said.
No, all right. I'll go then.
Yes. Close the door.
Oh, and the wind must have blown it open.
Well, Mr. Craythorpe, are you going to drive to my auntie's tomorrow?
Yes, I spoke to your mother before she left home this morning, and since I was driving out that way tomorrow, she invited me to call in.
Well, if it's all right, I'll go with you.
Oh, it's a pleasure. But your mother said I wasn't to take James, as it would be past his bedtime when we returned.
No, don't mention it to Jimmy. Jimmy, close that door.
Yes, I was most annoyed about the police. A constable took my name for parking, and because I hadn't got my driving licence, I was delayed with explanations and so on until the bank was closed.
Oh, that's why you've got the office money with you.
Yes, and my sister will go on and on about it. She hates my keeping any large sum of money in the house, terrified of burglars.
Jimmy, I've told you to...
All right, keep your comms on. I've brought the tray with the cups and saucers on.
Oh, sorry. Put it there. Thank you.
Don't mention it. Will there be anything else, Lady Dustbin?
Oh, James.
Will you leave us alone? Go and make the tea.
Oh, do you want to talk in private?
If you don't mind.
Oh, very well. In that case, I will withdraw myself into the kitchen. Or as we toffs say, the chuck house.
Oh, get out. Go on.
Bye-bye, sister dear. Bye-bye, Mr. Craythorpe.
Bye-bye, James.
Private, eh? Well, gently does it. That's it.
About the money, Mr. Craythorpe. If you don't want your sister to know, I could lock it in our cupboard for the night, and we can take it with us when we leave in the morning.
She's in it with him.
Oh, that would solve things perfectly.
He's robbed the office. And they're doing a bunk together with the lolly.
Well, that's fine. What about the other business with the police?
Oh, that's all right. They won't expect me to produce it before Monday.
Of course. It's Saturday tomorrow, so nobody'll miss the money till Monday. And then it'll be in all the papers. Theodore Craythorpe, public enemy number 1.
Just a minute, Jimmy. Where do you think you're going?
Oh, I thought I'd have a little walk.
You will not. It's nearly 8 o'clock. I promised Mother you'd be in bed by 8:30.
Well, it's only 5 minutes to the Rose and Crown, to the Rose Gardens, I mean.
Rose and Crown? You're not going down there to bother Grandad. He'd go mad.
Not when I tell him why I'm there.
What do you mean?
That I want a packet of crisps.
Just get back in this room. Come on.
All right. Hey, I thought Alfie Hall was coming. Don't you think you'd better go round to his house and see if he's all right? Well, not all right, but as right as he ever is.
Oh, keep quiet. I wish Alfie would come, though. I want to pop round to Alice Webster's for 10 minutes.
Well, go now. I'll look after Alfie when I get back. When he arrives, that is.
Oh, there he is at the door.
I'll let him in, shall I?
Yes, please, while I get my coat.
Hello, Alfie. You're late. Susan's been worried. She phoned the dogs home twice.
Give over now. I'm not in the mood for jokes.
Come in. What's wrong?
Oh, I'm in trouble with everybody. You and Susan, me mum, me dad, and all because I stayed at work late because the boss said he was all behind and didn't know what to do.
You should go on a diet.
Oh, you're here at last, Alfie.
You see, the boss asked me would I work late.
Don't wind him up again.
Well, I have to go out for a few minutes, Alfie, so will you stay here with Jimmy?
Yes, all right.
And remember, Jimmy, you're not to go out.
All right, stop showing off in front of your boyfriend. Or should I say one of them?
What do you mean? Susan hasn't got another boyfriend. Has she?
I'm saying nothing. Yet.
Ignore him, Alfie.
Hey, have you noticed, Alfie? She's got red lips, a white face, and blue eyelids. Red, white, and blue. Go on, Susan, give us Rule Britannia. Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. Ow! You big bully.
You asked for that. I'm going, and when I get back, you better be ready for bed.
When Grandad finds out about Craythorpe, you'll be ready for the hospital.
You shouldn't be cheeky to Susan like that. Hey, but what do you mean about Craythorpe?
He's her new boyfriend.
Craythorpe? What could she see in a ninny like him?
That's what me Grandad said when she brought you home. But she didn't. It's true, Alfie. They're running away tomorrow morning.
What gave you that idea?
Well, they were in here talking, and I was in the kitchen listening. I mean, I happened to be near the door.
And you got your ear caught in the keyhole. Go on.
Well, I heard it all. Craythorpe's robbed his office, and Susan's hiding the money for him until they go away with it tomorrow. He dodged the police today, and he said they won't get after him until they miss the money on Monday.
Well, is this true?
Alfie, you know me.
Well, that's what I mean. Are you lying?
If you don't believe me, I'll show you the money.
Where is it?
Susan locked it in the cupboard here. Give me a hand to move it.
Well, have you got a spare key then?
No, there's only one key. That's why she thinks it's safe.
Well, isn't it?
There's a loose board at the back. I've never told them because it comes in handy. When they lock something up, they don't want me to see it.
You're a proper caution.
Ooh, I'm all there with me cough drops. That's it. Here we are.
You know, I don't think we should be doing this.
It's all right. After we've seen it, we can wipe our fingerprints off.
No, I don't mean that... Oh, heck.
There you are. Look at that lot.
Hey, I believe you are telling the truth, Jim. But fancy Susan being his accomplice. Going with him, she must be off her head.
Well, she's been going round with you for a year.
You what?
I mean, she probably wants a change.
Well, what are we going to do?
Well, if it wasn't that my mum would be upset, I'd say do nothing, because we might get rid of Susan for years.
What are you rambling on about?
Well, Craythorpe and her might get to South America. There's over 100 quid there, you know. And then when the police caught them, they'd give her a home for about 5 years.
Well, sure up. Look, we'll have to stop him. Where's your granddad?
It's his darts night at the Rose and Crown.
Well, I'll go and tell him.
Hey, be careful how you tell him. He'll get annoyed if you talk to him in the middle of his throat.
Oh, look, you put the money back and... Oh, no. Look, we ought to hide it then. They can't go away.
I know. Let's take it next door to Wacker Whittle's house. He'll hide it.
Yeah, right. Come on. And then you can stay with Mr. Whittle and I'll bring your granddad there.
OK, but I've got to make a phone call first.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll go and tell Whittle, but you bring the money next door before Susan gets back.
Hey, you know, Alfie, this is better than watching the telly.
Oh, Jimmy. Yeah, you can be so cheerful when Susan's going off with Craythorpe and maybe to Dartmoor, I don't know. Oh, this is terrible.
There. Get your little hanky and blow your little looter.
Oh, Susan. How could you do it to me, Susan?
Oh, don't some mothers have 'em? And that's exactly what happened. What do you think, Mr. Whittle?
Well, it's hard to believe Craythorpe had fiddled the books, Jim. Are you sure it's not a clerical error?
No, It's right enough, Mr. Whittle. There's the money. Jimmy's telling the truth.
Oh, I'm not doubting Jim's velocity. But you must admit it's a bit of a shock.
I can understand Mr. Craythorpe pinching the money, but what does he want our Susan for? She can't even cook.
He ought to be shot. He's nearly old enough to be a grandfather.
I think he looks more like a grandmother. Hey, he reminds me of an old geezer I met when we was building the road in China. We'd finished the wall.
You built the Great Wall of China?
No, the wall round this fella's garden. You see, in China, the head bloke is called a mandolin. And this mandolin wanted to get married to
A guitar.
No, to a young girl. You see, these mandolins have wives and women that aren't wives. They call them porcupines. Anyway, this one wasn't in his class, you see. She was only a peasant.
Look, never mind about the Chinese. What about Susan and Craythorpe?
Yes, forget the mandolin. Let's sort out Susan and the old barrel organ.
I'm sorry, Jim. When I get thinking about the old days, I start reminiscitating.
You want to try some of me granddad's stomach powder?
Look, shut up, Jimmy. Mr. Whittle, you hide the money and keep Jimmy here, and I'll go to the Rose and Crown and fetch his granddad.
Right, Alf.
Well, I'll be back as quick as I can.
Oh, Alfie, there's one important thing before you leave the Rose and Crown.
What?
Buy me a meat pie. I'm starving.
Oh, wrap up.
Well, Jim, lad, I'd better stick the lolly in the sideboard drawer here before my old dad comes in and sees it.
Why, don't you want him to know about Mr. Craythorpe?
He wouldn't believe it. He'd say it was one of my prefabrications. And he'd tap me for £1.
Is he in bed?
What, my old dad? In bed at 8:30. He's out. He's liable to be down at the Pally, rocking it with the cats.
Rocking? But he's 85, isn't he?
Yes.
Me granddad's only 65, and if we let him watch jukebox jury, he's on his back for a week.
Well, don't forget, as a lighthouse keeper, my old man led a very active life. There was 200 steps in that lighthouse to run up every time one of the wicks wanted trimming. And twice a day he had to row ashore for a pint of paraffin oil.
Hey, whack! Pull the other leg, it's got bells on. You must think I'm as daft as Dickie Dossie.
All right, Jim, I was only jesting. But he did have an interesting life. When he first started... So this geezer, the Tsar of Persia... Am I keeping you awake?
What time is it now?
It's 10 to 9.
Oh, where the heck's Alfie got to? It's only 5 minutes to the Rose and Crown.
Oh, maybe he's had a sniff at the barman's apron and passed out.
Oh, what a blinking time I've had. I went to the Rose and Crown and searched all over the pub, but I couldn't see your granddad, so I asked the barman, and he said the darts team were playing away at the Red Line, so I went there, but they'd finished and gone to the Mucky Duck away. I'm thirsty.
Thirsty? And you've been in 3 pubs?
Yeah, but that's why. But I've been to 5 because he kept moving and he didn't like to come out without buying anything, and I don't drink, so I've had 5 packets of crisps. Can I have a drink of water?
Oh, in a minute. Listen, did you find his granddad?
He's at the Spread Eagle.
Well, what did he say? Is he coming?
I don't know. By the time I found the right place, I was out of breath. I staggered in, fell over the mat, and they threw me out for being drunk.
Alfie, why don't you go and have a lie down on the M1?
All right, Jim, leave this to me. Alf, make yourself a cup of tea. The tea's in the tea caddy and the water's in the tap. Jim, I'll be back with your granddad in 5 minutes.
Right-o, Mr. Whittle.
And take it easy, you two. Hey, Jim, tell Alf about me dad's paraffin oil.
What's he on about?
Oh, don't bother. I'll have a cup of tea if you make it one. It'll keep me awake.
Right-o, you must be sleepy, Jim. It's well past your bedtime.
Yes, keep talking or I'll be off.
What shall I talk about?
It doesn't matter, it won't make sense.
What?
So long as you make sense, I said.
Well, your granddad isn't long. We've got to see Susan and Craythorpe yet before they get ready for bed. Yeah, and I know Craythorpe goes to bed early. Susan will be wondering where we are, because she only went out for a few minutes and... he's asleep. I bet he's dreaming about this trouble.
No, don't do it. Put the gun down, don't shoot. Don't shoot, Mr. Craythorpe. Be careful, Alfie. They're in here somewhere. Keep going up these stairs.
Oh, I don't like it. I'm frightened.
Don't be scared. Special Agent Clitheroe is with you. I thought you said he was showing a light.
But he was.
Well, why didn't you follow it?
Yeah, I did, but it kept going round and round until I went dizzy.
Oh, you soft apeth. That wasn't his torch. Have you forgotten we're in a lighthouse?
Shh, what is it? Oh, I want to go home.
He's up there. And she's with him.
Who is he, anyway?
The king of bank robbers. You've heard of Legs Diamond?
Yes.
Well, this is Kneecaps Craythorpe. And his gangster's mole, Six-Shot Susan.
Oh, well, then let's go home. Look, my mum's got a hot pot cooking.
You coward. What's there to be scared of?
Answer!
Help!
No.
Quiet!
Help!
Are you Kneecaps and Susan?
No, Jimmy and Alfie. It's just that he needs a haircut.
They're all here.
Are they?
Who are you? Who are you?
Inspector Sinclair from Scotland.
Yard?
Aye, Scotland backyard.
Look out. Who's that?
It's Six-Shot Sue. Don't anybody move a muscle. You come here, near my gun.
Alfie, you wanted.
Not him, you.
Now, Susan, keep calm. That gun might go off if you get getting nervous.
Hold it. Here comes the killer himself. Okay, Kneecaps, they're all yours.
All right. Put him up, you guys.
Well, what up?
I'm not sure. Oh, of course. Your hands. Come on. Oh, you are hopeless. Here, hold this gun. I'll show you.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Now, put up your hands like this, way above your head.
Don't you, Alfie?
Why not?
He'll tickle you under the arms.
Don't move, Kneecaps, or the man behind you will hit you over the head.
Don't fall for that old gag, boss.
Of course not. I'm not a fool.
Well, try this for size, Whack.
Oh, Kneecaps, speak to me, speak to me.
From now on, Susan.
Yes?
Will you shut your cake hole?
Grab him, Alfie.
Right, got you.
Get off me!
Not him, you clot. Kneecaps.
Oh, sorry. Got your kneecap.
The wrong kneecaps.
Just a minute, stranger. Are you a policeman?
No, I'm a private eye. I've been after Kneecaps for years, trying to apprehend him.
Hey, will you tell me something? How did you get onto his trail?
Yes, who put you on to Kneecaps?
A lady called Agatha Christie.
You don't mean that you were...
That's right. I'm the famous Hercules Poirot.
Jimmy, wake up. Wake up, they're here. Come on, they're here.
Well, grab him, get kneecaps.
Get off me legs, Jim.
Jimmy, what's all this about?
Oh, you're here, Inspector. Grandad.
Oh, Mr. Sinclair, I thought you weren't coming.
Well, from what I hear, if I'd been left to you, I'd never have found out.
Be fair, Grandad. Alfie ran all over after you.
Yes, I did.
It's not his fault his feet move faster than his brains.
No, it is. I'll thump you.
The only thumping that's going to be done tonight is when I get my hands on Casanova Clitheroe.
Aren't you going to smack our Susan?
Now, Jim. A gentleman can't clout a lady. As the French say, noblesse obliges.
Well, I'll oblige. I'm only a boy. I'll clout her.
Yeah, now, that's enough from you about Susan. I'm not listening to any more. Whatever she's done, she's the girl I love.
Ooh, we've got a right one here. You ought to be on the telly advertising cigarettes. There was only the two of us puffing away. No one else in the world. Just us smoking our fags as we walked up the hill. And then we sat on the top and coughed our blooming heads off.
Oh, look here, there's been enough talking. I'm going to see Clitheroe.
Yeah, well, I'm coming with you. After all, she's my girl.
Well, she's my sister, so I'm coming.
Well, I don't think I'd better go with you, Jock. When it's a family problem, I always say strangers should keep out of it and be strictly nutritious.
Just leave the talking to me.
Mr. Craythorpe might be in bed, Grandad.
Well, we'll drag him out, and after I've finished, he can go back for a week.
I hope his sister's not up.
So do I. If there was any trouble, she could bash the three of us. Have you seen her muscles when she's chopping trees?
Yes, what can I do for you?
Lend me Grandad your chin for 5 minutes.
Oh, James, it's you. Mr. Sinclair and Alfred. Oh, what a pleasant surprise.
Can we come in, please?
But, of course. This way.
Thank you. I always think it's better to keep the front step clean.
Oh, yes. Do sit down. Pull up a chair, Alfred. And you, James.
I'd prefer to stand if you don't mind.
It gets a better swing that way.
I'm sorry, but is there some joke? I'm afraid I don't get it.
You'll get it all right.
Craythorpe, is it true that you're taking Susan away tomorrow?
Well, yes. What about it?
Hey, up, let me belt him.
Stand back, Alfie. I'm first.
What is this?
Put up your hands. Come on, fight like a man.
Get back! Help! Keep away! Help!
Look out, Grandad. He's shouting for his sister.
My sister's out. Thank goodness, or she'd send for the police.
That's a laugh. And what would the police say about you robbing your office and running away with a young girl without her parents' consent?
Mrs. Clitheroe asked me to take Susan.
What? How dare you say that? Come here.
There you are, Grandad. You're the only one who doesn't want to get rid of her.
Stand back or I'll strike you with my umbrella. What is wrong with taking Susan to see her mother?
Don't you dare. To see her mother?
But I heard you tell Susan that...
Jimmy, shut up. Craythorpe, what about the money Susan hid for you?
It's the office money I couldn't put in the bank today, so I'm depositing it tomorrow, before Susan and I go to visit Mrs. Clitheroe.
Well, good night, Mr. Craythorpe. I'll see you...
Come here, you.
Yes, I have a feeling someone else is going to be thumped tonight.
Wait, Mr. Sinclair. Hello? Yes, Susan. I know. Pardon?
Grandad, I'll wait outside. It might be a private conversation.
Now, look, stand still. That never worried you before.
Yes, they're all here. Oh, no. Well, look, tell them it was all a mistake. I'll ring you back later. Goodbye. That was Susan.
Oh, is she keeping well?
Keep quiet, you.
I told her you're all here. She'd been worried sick about James being out of the house.
Well, she knows now. We'll all have a good laugh about this tomorrow, I hope.
You'll be laughing till you cry, my lad.
There are 2 other problems to be sorted out yet.
What do you mean?
Susan found James and you were gone, and the money had been taken from the cupboard. So she informed the police.
That does it. Come on, my lad. I want to get you home.
There's no hurry, Grandad. Mr. Craythorpe might give us a cup of tea if we wait.
You said there were 2 problems, Mr. Craythorpe.
Yes. James, if you look out of the window, you can see someone coming up the path who wants to have a word with you.
A word with me? Who is it? Oh, no.
It's your mother.
Oh, heck, I forgot. Before I went to Mr. Whittle's, I phoned my mum and told her about Susan and Mr. Craythorpe. Still, she might be pleased it was all a mistake.
Oh, she'll be delighted. She left home this morning for 3 days' holiday, and you've got her back after just exactly 13 hours.
Well, maybe she won't mind. She always says if she's away a long time, she gets homesick. Don't let her in, Mr. Craythorpe. Switch the lights off and tell her there's nobody at home.
James, you've got to face up to this like a man.
That's it, Mr. Craythorpe. That's what I'll do. I'll face her like a man.
Good.
So let me out the back door, and I'll come back when I'm 21.
Those involved with the Clitheroe Kid this week were Peter Sinclair, Leonard Williams, who played both Mr. Whittle and Mr. Craythorpe, Danny Ross and Diana Day. The recorded program was written and produced by James Casey and starred Jimmy Clitheroe as the Kid himself.
I just came back to tell you we're all friends again. I feel fine now after a good night's sleep lying on my tummy. But remember, kids, the moral of this story was a draft in your lug can cause earache. But when the draft comes from a keyhole, you feel the pain at both ends. Ta-ra!